Hi, my name is Shashi and today I'm going to demonstrate how Trici helps developers recover faster from interruptions. Trici is a simple desktop app in which you start a focus session, it records your screen activity with a bunch of events and then replays it at a very fast rate, which allows you to remember what exactly you were working on. For this demonstration, we'll start building a simple game, simulate an interruption, and then use Trici to recover from it. Let's get started. The game we'll be building is really simple. You have 7 seconds to answer a simple mental math question involving 3 numbers chosen randomly between 0 and 25. To win the game, you have to answer 10 consecutive questions correctly. If you answer a question incorrectly or if you run out of time, the count of correctly answered questions is reset to 0 and you have to start over again. The premise of the game is really simple and we'll be building it for the web today. I already have a boilerplate ready with an element for the question and an answer. If I look at the code of the boilerplate, I can see that the question element is bound to the output of the function generate question. And the answer element has a key press event handler, which right now is blank. To start building the game, I'll first implement the generate question method to give us a question string like this. Let's get started. The first thing I'll do is I'll bring up Trici using the shortcut Ctrl+Shift+K or Command+Shift+K if you're on the Mac, and then start a focus session. Next, I'm going to create a to-do of what I'll be working on right now, and that is generate question string. One of the benefits of starting a focus session is that access to distracting websites are blocked when the focus session is on. Which sites to block can be configured in the Trici application. Right. So to generate a question string, the first thing that I have to do is generate random numbers between 0 and 25. Okay, so to do that, I'll need a way to generate random numbers. I'll just look at the documentation of math.random, and over here I see that I have a function which I can use called getRandomIntInclusive, which will give me random integers between two given values. So we can use that to generate random numbers, and we have to generate 3 numbers. So I will just write a for loop, and then my generated number is equal to get random int between 0 and 25, and then I'll initialize an array called numbers, which I'll be using to save the randomly generated numbers. So I'll just do numbers.push generated number, and now my array should have 3 randomly generated numbers. So just to ensure that what we are doing, whatever we have done till now works, I'll assign question string is equal to numbers.toString. And next, if I go back and check my boilerplate, so I see that I have 3 random numbers between 0 and 25. So this is sort of a logical point in our code where we have achieved something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this and commit this, generate random numbers between 0 and 25. This is because it's a demo, I'm committing very quickly. Ideally, you would commit when you reach a logical point in your code, whenever you feel that is. Okay, so we have now a question we have 3 random numbers, and the next thing that we have to do is we have to take this numbers and generate a question string with the mathematical operators. So for that, I'm going to iterate through the numbers that we have, and so next what happens is my question string, which should be blank initially, right, goes on and I takes a number, and then I need a mathematical operator over here. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a array called operators, which contains our mathematical operators, which are just 2 right now, that is plus and minus, and then I will write a function called getRandom, which takes in an array. So it will take in our array of operators, and then it gets a random index, which is again I can use my get random int inclusive function, and the range for the array is between 0 and array dot length, and this gives us a random index, and then to return the random element we just use the random index for the array, and this we use over here to say get random, and I pass in my operators array, and now I get number array, and because we will get an extra element, an extra operator at the end, it will run 3 times, so we'll have an extra operator at the end. So to remove that, we will just use the substring function to get rid of that, and if I get rid of this, then now my question string should return to me a question with 3 random numbers between 0 and 25. Okay, so the next thing that we have to do is handle the answer. So so basically our generate question string is done, so I'll mark it as done, and I may commit this code as well, but let's just do that later. So the next thing that we have to do is we have to work on handle answer entered, right? So for this, what we have to do, okay, I'm getting a call, so I'll just stop my focus session. Hello. Hey. No, I haven't bought any bitcoins. It's gone up. It's gone down. Wow. Whoa. Okay. Well, all the best. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Bye. Bitcoins. Up, it goes up, and then it goes down. Okay, since I'm on a break, let me just quickly check if there are any moves I have to make in chess, and there are 2 moves that I have to make in chess. You'll notice that because the focus session has ended, I can now access chess.com. So okay, I think this should be fine. Right, so what were we working on? Now, to answer that question, I just bring up Trici, and I quickly play the session, and then I can see that okay, it is playing very quickly, and I had a generate number, okay, and then I used generated number, and then numbers.toString, and then I was getting random numbers 13, 23, 22, and then 20, 17, 21, great, and then I was iterating through the numbers, and then I used the operators array, and then I basically used the array length. Okay, I used a random index to get a random operator, and question, okay, so 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. Okay, it just let me just check if I refresh this. So again I got 0, 1 and 2. So I was getting random numbers before, but now I don't seem to be getting random numbers. So if I just go back to my focus session, right, so this is the detailed view of the focus session in Trici. You can see that there is a timeline of events on the left hand side, and as you can see, I added a to do. So I added a to do, and then I added a note, which was, no, I started working on generate question string, and then I added a note which is generate random numbers between 0 and 25. So if I just click on this, it goes to that point in the video, and then if I just play from here, so I can see that I added this, and we just saw as well we were getting correctly the random numbers, so which is why I committed, right? I committed at this point because as you just saw, we were getting, so I committed. So obviously I've made some mistake after this. So if I click on this, so after this is when I've made a mistake, and then if I look, and I think I got the mistake. So this is where we are iterating through the numbers, right? And if I am using index value, right? But my value is always coming as 0, 1 and 2, and that is because if you look over here, the callback function actually takes value and index, and have used index and value, so which is why that is happening like that. So I should probably go ahead and fix that. So instead of value and index, if I write index and value, I write value and index, and then so now I'm getting correct values. Okay, so what was I doing after that, right? So I was getting, so now I'm getting those values correctly, and then I said handle answer entered. Okay, and then I got a call, so now I have to handle the answers. That is really, it gives you a very simple and short example of how Trici can help you recover faster from interruptions. As you will see, if you can go through the focus sessions, you can look at jump to a point in the focus session. So over here we were correct till this point, so after that we made a mistake, so we don't have to review the whole thing. So if you have an hour-long session, you can just keep on jumping to that point in the focus session. It reads from your Git. You can set up a Git repository, and it will read commits from your repository, so you don't always have to enter something. It will just events will be read from your Git repository. So it makes things really simple. It sort of gives you a timeline, and allows you to get to that thing which you don't remember. So you will eventually remember. Even if you without Trici, you will probably take like 2 or 5 minutes to remember, or 10 minutes to remember, depending upon what type of interruption you had. So with Trici, you get your train of thought back in less than 2 minutes, mostly in under 30 seconds, but in less than 2 minutes in most cases. So that was a very quick demo of Trici, and do sign up at our website or our product hunt page, and thank you for watching.